Hi y'all. Today we cooking up some delicious Creole shrimp étouffée. So let's get started. This is a pound of 30-count Gulf shrimp that you want to season with about 2 teaspoons of Creole seasoning. The folks over at Mrs. Cloteal's gave me a batch of what I think is the best all-purpose Creole seasoning. It's even certified Creole by the Louisiana Department of Agriculture. And the only way to get a better Creole seasoning is to mix it up yourself. If you're interested, the link for this product will be in the description box. Now, once you shrimp season, set it aside. And in the bottom of a Dutch oven over medium heat, you want to melt 3 tablespoons of salted butter with 1 tablespoon of neutral vegetable oil. This combination of fat is going to make the base of your roux. Now, once the butter starts bubbling and foaming, you want to add 4 tablespoons of flour, all-purpose or self-rising, whatever you have on hand. You want to mix the flour good into the oil, and we're going to cook it till it's the color of a nice brown pecan. Creole shrimp étouffée is a brownish red, orange in color. Like gumbo, the color of étouffée can vary depending on where you are in the region and whether a Cajun or a Creole is doing the cooking. The cooking process will take between 22 and 25 minutes. So number 1, be patient. And number 2, don't leave your roux unattended. It ain't nothing like a burnt roux to ruin your whole dish. Now, once you get your flour mixed in, let it come up to a good simmer. Once it hits that simmer, you need to be stirring it pretty often. Make sure to adjust your heat to maintain a medium fire because that's the best fire to make your roux. The next worst thing to eating burnt roux is eating raw roux where the flour is uncooked. So trust when I say you don't want that neither. So, okay, we've been cooking for about 5 minutes and you can see where the roux is starting to take on a bit of brown color. Don't worry about them small pieces of flour you're looking at. As the roux continues to cook, these pieces are gonna break up. Now we've been cooking for about 12 minutes. You can see the roux getting a little bit darker, close to the color of a nice caramel now. So be mindful of your stirring because we don't want no burning. Now we've been cooking for about 22 minutes and we had a nice pecan brown. You see how nice and smooth it is? That's gonna make a beautiful étouffée. Now let's add some diced onion, bell pepper, and celery to the roux. That's about a cup of onion, a half a cup of green bell pepper, and a half a cup of celery. And then you want to season it with a bit of fine grained sea salt. That's about a half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, and a half a teaspoon of Creole seasoning. And you want to stir this all together and you will see immediately that the roux will stick to the vegetables. Once the veggies are coated in the roux, you want to allow them to saute for about 5 to 6 minutes until your veggies start to sweat. Now don't forget to stir intermittently because we don't want the roux to stick to the bottom or burn. Then to the veggies, you want to add a tablespoon of minced garlic, 2 to 3 bay leaves, depending on the size, and 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Then add 14 ounces of diced tomatoes. I had some fresh tomatoes I needed to use, and I just added a small can of diced roasted tomatoes with serrano peppers to make 14 ounces. You can use all canned or all fresh. It's totally up to you. For a thicker roux, use fewer tomatoes. You can use anywhere from 10 to 14 ounces. Then add 2 cups of shrimp or seafood stock. The stock should complement the main protein ingredient. If you were making a crawfish étouffée, you would use crawfish stock or seafood stock. Making a rabbit or andouille étouffée, use chicken stock. Turnip étouffée, vegetable stock. If you don't have stock, water works just fine as well. Next, we want to add some dried thyme leaves. This is about a teaspoon. Then a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce or Worcestershire sauce, or however you pronounce it. So you might be wondering what the difference between Creole and Cajun Étouffée is, but the big traditional difference is there's no tomatoes in Cajun Étouffée. And finally, some pepper sauce. I added about a half teaspoon. You want to mix these ingredients and allow them to come to a vigorous boil. Another difference is that the protein in all étouffées is typically shellfish, but that does not hold true always. Once it boils, then you want to turn the heat down to medium. Another point to remember is that étouffée is about the cooking technique more than it is about the name of the dish. Give it a taste, adjust your seasoning if you need to. Then you want to cover and you want to cook for about 30 minutes on a slow simmer. And you can see how after 30 minutes the étouffée has gotten thicker. The color has gotten deeper. And at this point, you want to carefully fold in the seasoned shrimp. Cover and simmer for about 7 minutes. And many people also think of crawfish when they think of Cajun étouffée, but Creoles use crawfish as well. Another difference is that the tomatoes in Creole étouffée make it a little less thick than the Cajun étouffée. And you can see how this étouffée has thickened up quite nicely. A beautiful reddish brown color. The shrimp are right on the cusp of being cooked through completely. And what you need to do now is remove the étouffée from the heat and allow it to sit for an additional 5 minutes before serving. And this completes the cooking process for the shrimp. Étouffée is always, and yes, I said always, eaten with rice. And there you have it, a beautiful, thickened, reddish brown Creole shrimp étouffée. So give this good loving from the oven Creole shrimp étouffée a try. You won't be disappointed. And remember, when you mix a little bit of Creole with a little bit of Cajun, that's good eating. See y'all next time.